Saint Scholastica, Virgincy, 480 to 547, Early Life and Call to Holiness. Saint Scholastica was born around the year 480 in Nursia, Italy, as the twin sister of Saint Benedict, the founder of Western monasticism. They were born into a noble Roman family and were raised in a household that valued faith and education. From a young age, Scholastica showed a deep inclination toward spiritual life, just like her brother. According to tradition, she consecrated herself to God at an early age and chose the path of virginity and religious devotion. Her monastic life and ministry. While Saint Benedict went on to establish the Benedictine rule and monasteries, Scholastica also founded a religious community for women. She established a convent in Plombariola, not far from Monte Cassino, where her brother had founded his famous monastery. Following Benedict's teachings, her community lived a life of prayer, contemplation, and service. She embraced the principles of monasticism, dedicating herself to God through a life of humility, obedience, and devotion. Her relationship with Saint Benedict, despite their separate monastic lives, the twin siblings remained spiritually close. Each year, Saint Scholastica and Saint Benedict would meet at a small house near Monte Cassino to discuss spiritual matters and encourage one another in their respective vocations. Their bond was one of deep mutual respect and love, rooted in their shared commitment to God. The story of the miraculous rainstorm, one of the most well-known stories about Saint Scholastica, is the miraculous rainstorm that occurred during one of her last meetings with Saint Benedict. As they sat together discussing the joys of heaven, Scholastica sensed that their time on earth was coming to an end. She pleaded with Benedict to stay with her through the night so they could continue their holy conversation. However, Benedict, bound by his own monastic rule, insisted that he must return to his monastery. Scholastica, knowing the power of prayer, folded her hands and prayed fervently. At that moment, a violent storm broke out, making it impossible for Benedict to leave. Amazed by his sister's faith, he exclaimed, "What have you done?" To which she replied, "I asked you, and you would not listen. So I asked my God, and he did listen." Benedict had no choice but to stay and spend the night discussing the love of God. This event highlights Scholastica's deep faith and the power of her intercession. 3 fascinating stories about Saint Scholastica's vision of the soul's ascent to heaven. Just 3 days after their last meeting, Benedict saw a vision of his sister's soul ascending to heaven in the form of a dove. He knew at once that she had passed from this life. Deeply moved, he gave thanks to God and arranged for her body to be buried in the tomb he had prepared for himself. This symbolized their inseparable bond, even in death. Scholastica's special protection over her sister. It is said that after her death, her convent experienced miraculous protection from danger. One account tells of an invading army that approached the convent with ill intentions, but as soon as they neared the walls, a fierce storm similar to the one she had called upon Benedict forced them to retreat. Her presence continued to be a source of divine safeguarding for her community. The enduring legacy of Scholastica's holiness over the centuries. Many Benedictine nuns have reported experiencing a sense of her presence during their prayers, often describing a deep peace or an overwhelming sense of divine love. Some have even spoken of seeing a dove near her relics, reinforcing the vision Saint Benedict had at her passing. Her death and canonization. Saint Scholastica died around the year 547. Saint Benedict, having seen her soul's ascent to heaven, personally oversaw her burial at Monte Cassino, where she was laid to rest beside him. Although formal canonization processes did not exist at the time, Saint Scholastica was recognized as a saint by popular devotion and by the Church in the centuries following her death. Her feast day is celebrated on February 10th, and she is honored in both the Roman Catholic and Eastern Orthodox traditions. Patroness of Saint Scholastica is the patroness of Benedictine nuns, education, convents, women seeking spiritual guidance, thunderstorms, and rain. Her life serves as an enduring testimony to the power of prayer, the strength of faith, and the beauty of a life wholly dedicated to God. Saint Scholastica's legacy continues through the countless monastic communities that follow in her footsteps, living a life of prayer, humility, and love.